Hey, Katie, this is Cup of Caring for February 2nd, 2021. And we have our guest here, Katie Comer. Katie, we are here to talk about the Family Fund, which is very exciting. Happens every year for several years running now. Opportunity for our parents to get some much needed resources. So I'm going to let you talk a little bit. Please introduce yourself and describe your role at the ARC.
Sure. So my name is Katie Comer, and I am the Director of Development and Communications here at the ARC. And my primary role is to fundraise for the ARC's programs and services, and that includes the Family Fund. The other part of my role is administering the Family Fund. So being on the grants side to decide, who and how much is granted out to each application.
Great. Give us a little explanation of what is the Family Fund exactly, because we've had a lot of resources happening in here at the ARC, but this is very specific.
Sure. So the Family Fund is a grant that families can apply for to help cover unfunded services. And so we know that there are so many effective things out there, right? Therapies, equipment, other resources, but they're not covered by insurance, and it's hard to find funding to help pay for those things, and they're inherently expensive. So the Family Fund is meant to help pay for those things. It's there to help fill the gap.
And this is for children with intellectual and developmental disabilities, correct?
Yes. So to apply, to be considered, you have to have a child under 21 with an intellectual or a developmental disability. We also require that you live in one of our 9 counties that the ARC Central Chesapeake region supports.
Okay, and that's pretty much the whole Eastern Shore of Maryland and Anne Arundel County. So if you have any question about that, you can look on our website, but it's a huge geographic area. So give me an example of a person that is the sports, Family Fun in Action kind of thing. Give me an example.
Sure. So if you haven't had a chance to check out our annual report, I encourage you to do so. We shared a story of Catherine, who we gave her a grant last year for a Rifkin bicycle. So Catherine was doing therapy at, I believe, Kennedy Krieger. And with the pandemic, all therapies and everything was put on hold. So they sent an application for the bicycle that she was actually using in therapy. So we were able to grant them the amount that they needed to purchase the bicycle for her to continue to do these therapies at home during the pandemic. So she didn't lose any of the progress that she had made, which was very exciting.
And explain a Rifkin bicycle, because some people might not know what that is.
So it's a specialized bicycle. It's kind of like a large, I think, tricycle almost is the best way to describe it, so that she can ride along with her cousins. It helps her develop her muscles and things like that. So it's just a specialized bicycle that she was able to use. So that was one of the grants.
So, it's not something a normal budget would allow for. I know that was upwards of $1,000.
Yeah, I believe it was like $1,800. So it's a specialized bicycle, but because therapies and things nothing was happening. Right. So she wasn't able to go and do her regular therapies. She was losing physical progress that she had made. So being able to do that at home, one, she was able to do stuff with her cousin. She loves biking with her cousin who lives just down the street. So her parents were very excited because she felt like she was a normal kid getting to do those normal kid things. But then the other part of that was that she was still able to build her muscles and develop that muscle memory and gain strength.
I saw some pictures. It was really cute. She finally got.
So that's detailed in our annual report. There are a lot of other things that we've funded. Therapies. There's somebody we funded last year that has a specialized speech therapy. It's tactile, so they actually touch your face so that you make the right sounds. And that is not covered by insurance at all. And it's like $200 a session. So when your child has to have, 4 or 5 sessions a month, that's extra money that's coming out of your pocket. And it's incredibly expensive. So that's what this grant is meant to do, is to help offset some of those costs.
Sounds good. So how do I apply, and how if a family is thinking it's for me and I need this, what do I do?
Sure. So you can go to our website, www.thearcccr.org/family fund. And that's where the application is. Applications will open on March 1st and they close on April 15th. The earlier you apply, the better. So, and we encourage that you have a very thorough application, like really sit down and think about what is it that's going to be the most impactful for your family, and tell us why.
Right. And we do review those with the committee. I know that.
Yeah, there's a committee so once your application is submitted, it's vetted to make sure you meet all of our minimum requirements, and then it's sent on to our committee, which reviews each application in detail. We talk about it, and each decision is sent out based on the committee's consensus.
And we know every year people say, what date is it, Katie? How do I know? How do I keep up with that? And where do we always have every one of our announcements about the ARC? Where do we go?
We share everything on social media. So follow us on Facebook or Twitter, and we'll put the link to the grant there. You can check our website. All that information is out there.
And also, if you enroll in our family newsletter, the Family Connector, there will be a link directly to apply for the grant. So how do I know about, when you took my application in, you've read it, you've had it for a while, how long does it take, and when will I know that I have been awarded the funds?
So award decisions will be made by May 1st, and we notify every family, whether you received it or whether you didn't. And if you didn't, then we offer you sort of, our family navigation services, which are free to the community. And we may also, depending on what your request was, we may have some other leads for you to pursue. So we reach out to every person who applies so that no family is wondering whether they got it and they just missed it or not.
And just because you're denied, and I like to say this too, because I have been on the committee before, doesn't mean you don't qualify for other funds, doesn't mean you might not qualify in the following year or for other grant sources. So we always encourage you to apply. A denial does not mean that we're not cognizant that there's a need, and we may search out other grant funds to help you, or other resources, right? So I don't need this grant, maybe I'm a family who I feel like this just isn't for me, but I support the fact that there are really a bunch of other people out there that would need my support. How do I help you with the Family Fund?
Well, so we're always fundraising for the Family Fund. So this year, thanks to the generosity of our donors, we have $40,000 to grant out, which is very exciting. Last year, we only had 30. So that's an extra $10,000 that can go out into the community to support all of our families. You can donate at www.thearcccr.org/give-family-fund. And that your donation will go right to the Family Fund, or you can make a donation on our website, or you can email me and give@thearcccr.org.
That's awesome. That sounds great. So everything's kind of on the website. It will be on the newsletter. It will be on social media. So you can also email resources at thearcccr.org, or email Katie, of course, and we'll put her information in our newsletter. Any other things that are coming up that you want to share about the Family Fund?
So the thing I'd like to stress the most about the Family Fund is really a complete application. So if you write that you need this therapy and you give us one sentence about what it is or what it does, and we don't really have a clear indication of how it's going to impact you or your family, your application is not going to be at the front of necessarily what we're funding. We need detail. We want to know how it's an impact grant. So we want to know how your family is being positively impacted by these funds, because we don't have unlimited resources and we do receive hundreds of applications.
Yeah.
Hundreds. Last year we had $30,000 to grant out and we received over $250,000 worth of requests.
I know, it's pretty intense.
So It's a very competitive process, and I encourage you to apply. So that's not to say don't apply because there's too many people. Please apply. Just please detail for us how this grant is going to impact your family.
Right.
That really helps us make a more complete decision.
So be clear in what your need is, and any questions that are on there, don't leave them blank. Really give us as much. Too much detail is not a problem. Too little is a problem.
Yes.
Because you may be placed in the back of the line or put on a waiting list if the request.
Or you might actually receive more money. I mean, there was someone last year who really detailed out a request that we were like, we wouldn't have thought of that necessarily, but they made such a compelling argument that we actually fully funded their request. So we do have a limited number of applications that we fund in full. It's usually not more than like 5 or 10, but it depends. You know, we kind of go request by request.
Correct. So even if your request isn't fully funded, just to stress that, it doesn't mean you might not get some portion of the support that you need, and that may get you on the right road. That's awesome. So sounds like there's a lot of parts to it, but it's all of that is clear on the website. If you go on the website, we do have a mom here, Angelica. Was there any questions you needed to ask Katie? Okay, no questions.
No, thank you.
Okay, great. Then I guess we will wrap this up. I appreciate your time, Katie, and I look forward to seeing all the happy faces and all the results of this Family Fund 2021. It's an amazing and remarkable resource for our parents. So good work, and I appreciate everything that you do in this space.
Of course. Thank you.